Yo. Alright, that's cool.
Yo, you wanna start it off?
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's go.
Actually,
Can somebody turn me down a little bit?
let me start it off. So, you know, Taj has a show called Healing is Gangster. You know, he's my friend, but he's a therapist. So talking to him is always like therapy. And, you know, extraordinary things going on in my life that I have to get used to is my normal. And, you know, every week something really happens that affects me that I have to really reflect and think about how to react. We talk about my mic now a little? And a lot of my therapy is on Thursdays. I get to do music. I don't do it for money. I just do it because I love it. I could care less if it sells. But, you know, me and my crew are having fun. It's a cool vibe. And that's my therapy. And I want to share that with y'all. So we did an album, which was very therapeutic for me. Before I did it, and then things happened, and then after I did it, we did it. And I want to share that with y'all. So I want to give y'all the science behind everything. But first, I really want to talk about things that are on my mind. So I want to introduce Taj, and then we can talk.
What's up, y'all? I'm Taj, or Tajay. Somebody turn me down just a little bit.
What do you prefer, Taj or Tajay?
It don't matter.
Good therapist.
Yeah. And I am your hood therapist.
Still got that,
A real therapist. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a slogan, but I am your hood therapist. And me and the great Dame Dash just happen to be friends. And a lot comes out of our discussions, you know, that don't just affect us personally, but it affects the world around us. And it affects me personally. So I appreciate these sessions as well. But Mr. Dame Dash has been so gracious to, you know, expose a lot of his therapeutic process to the rest of the world and the things that he's going through emotionally within his life, within his family, and everything else. Today, obviously, you know, we all in the culture and the hip hop community and in the world are mourning right now. You know, rest in peace to young Dolph, who was tragically taken from us yesterday. And we had just seen a clip a little while ago with you and young Dolph in talking and chilling, and I know we were outside kind of talking about this a little bit. You said you had just talked to him, and it hit you kind of, you know, it struck home with you. You know, I want to verbalize some of that.
Yeah, you know, young Dolph was like, you know, he was a dude that used to really check in and pay a lot of respect, and just really for advice. And we would call like literally monthly, and sometimes weekly, just to talk. We would pull up in such a respectful way. I didn't even know that he was going through what he was going through. And I really had just spoken to him literally the day before yesterday, or maybe a day or two before. And all we were talking about was independence. And, you know, him trying to take his artist to another level, but just knowing that doing a deal with a major might not be the right thing for him. And within our conversation, I was like, you know, my advice is just hire the people that they hire. And I was actually at odds with myself about, do I want to pay this for myself? Is another one, do I want to pay for that myself? And based on the advice I was giving him, I was referencing what I was thinking, and I was like, you just validated what I was thinking for myself. The same advice I would give you, I would give myself. And he was like, all right, we'll pull up when I get back. And then the next day, and the crazy thing is, this shit keeps happening. You don't get used to it, but it hurts, but you don't be surprised. And it's still, I can't even really verbalize how it feels to just be giving someone that's a good person advice, that's paying you respect,
Right.
that's consistent,
Right.
and all of a sudden they not there. And you know that they, at least because I don't know nothing other than what our relationship was. That, I didn't know about all this shit. He didn't bring that in here. He would come by himself, and he wasn't on. I never heard. I was really surprised to hear about everything. But at the end of the day, it's like this shit is becoming way too normal, and it just has to not. Honestly, what I'm more bothered about than anything is this celebration of being tough. You know, like how everybody it's like
Hello?
people are like egging it on. I watch interviews and people that interview ask questions that are like clickbait, but this is how the result in the street.
Right.
And I just think that everyone is enabling, that's promoting this shit. It's enabling. And to know that YouTube makes money off of trolling and things that sometimes affect us in the street, I just don't understand why this shit is not regulated. But the promotion of any kind of war should not ever be promoted. It should never be paid for. There should never be an ad next to somebody beefing about anything, but especially when it comes to us hitting us. Family hurt the family is corny, man. That shit can't be celebrated. Like, if your family killing somebody in your family, culturally we family. And you know that another culture is benefiting from this, laughing at this, and what really hurts is this dude's spirit was so independent. You know, our independent forward thinkers get taken out by a program, the program of culturally we hurt each other in broad daylight. But we don't ever do that shit to the people that's hurting us culturally. And then we celebrate that shit. And to me, everyone that is hurting is doing it out of fear because they don't want to get hurt. But at the end of the day, it's fear. We scared of our brothers. So I'm just sick of this shit, man. I'm sick of losing people and having to wear it and go on with my day. It's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard to have somebody in your life and the next day they're not, whether you see them every day or not. If you're not, like, I didn't know nobody in his family, I just knew him. I didn't know his friends. I didn't know nothing about his life. I just knew him. And now he's not here. And now I'm finding out everything, but still that shit is like, it's just trauma. More trauma. It's trauma to the family, it's trauma to the people that have to deal with that shit. It's just trauma, man. You know, and I don't understand, the only way I think I can fix it, because old people, us, a certain age, don't want to change, and they just stuck in that program. But I just want to make sure these young kids know, I wish there was this era that it just wasn't cool to talk about killing. That if you talked about talking tough, that shit was corny. You know, that shit made you whack when you talk about taking another man's life, not dope. That should be like, oh, you talking that whack shit, then I ain't talking to you. You know? Like, why celebrate that shit? To me, if you are celebrating somebody tough, it's only because you're scared. You know? There's no reason to be tough if you're not scared. You can be aware. But taking out your brother out of fear, for them, it's a program, bro. Don't celebrate when we manipulate. You know, we keep fucking, every record that talks about killing should not play. Period. But who showcases that? Who makes the most money when we talk about hurting each other? The commercials that come with it. And we don't own the companies that play in the commercials, man. This is a manipulation that we got to understand. We can't be a pawn in another culture's chess game where we hurt each other. That never adds up. So that's what was on my mind. And I don't even, like, it was crazy because when Hassan was playing it, that shit was hurting. And first I was like, I don't even feel like performing. And then I was like, nah, that contradicts everything I say. You know, we gotta celebrate life, because we got it. Yeah. So just because someone's in pain, I'm gonna make sure that, and because I'm in pain, I'm gonna make sure, because I got the wherewithal, I'm gonna live life to the fullest, but carefully and consciously.
And I think you said the key word, consciously. You know, you said something earlier when you were talking about young Dolph and just how these things keep happening. And you were saying that you feel it, but you're used to it at the same time. Now, that's a conundrum of sorts, because basically what happens from that is you still feeling the pain and, you know, the effects of what's been happening over and over again. But because it seems like we're used to it, we don't address it how we should. You know what I'm saying? And we just let it linger. And
we let it be our normal.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I'm not gonna let this be my normal. I'm gonna really feel that pain pause, because I don't want to be desensitized. You know,
and that's what I think is happening. You know, with you know, we see
culture.
Yeah. If you think about it, you know, we used to lose rappers every now and then,
once a decade.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
after the Big and Pop, it was like a decade apiece, man.
Yeah, and now
this shit is
I believe that this generation of society is so prolific at taking out their leaders. Like if you just put all the names in a hat, you know,
I'm considered a leader, and I don't want that to happen.
You know, and so
you know what I'm saying? So we ain't doing that.
So we have to look at it. We got to look at it and say, man, you know, it's getting worse. You know, how worse does that have to get before we start really addressing ourselves and addressing each other? You know, the way we should, because it's one thing to say, all right, well, like you said, stuff that doesn't have, that has killing in it should play, right? But when you think of the art form, right? A lot of these creatives are talking about their everyday experience. What's that? And some of these dudes are really coming from the street. You know what I'm saying? Where that's a reality, and you know that. And so it's hard to tell them, don't.
That's true.
Do that. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it's
crazy. Listen.
And when you get right,
you know, you're right. No, but it's just, it can't be in a positive, like, yo, I killed the nigga. Yeah. Matter of fact, nah. Most of the time, and you know, back in the day, where I'm from, when you doing that, you're not supposed to be talking about that shit. It ain't that's supposed to be expressed, period. You are supposed to internalize it so you don't go to jail. So if you're doing that shit, nah, it's illegal. Don't talk about nothing illegal. And if you're going to talk about it as you observed it and how much you hurt. But if you are advocating it and it's beef, nah. Well, that contradicts every law of the street.
And I think that for that to happen, we have to address this beyond the music level.
True.
We have to address this in society, because it's hard to tell a creative, don't detail the things and the mentality that's in your hood, even if that artist don't particularly feel that.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I just feel in a way like talking about what you see is one thing,
Yeah.
but celebrating in a certain way
Absolutely.
is not right. And also, let's not even start with the music. Let's just start with the trolling. That's not creative expression to me.
Right.
So, you know, when you beefing with somebody and an ad plays on Instagram or an ad plays on YouTube, something about that's not right. You should not be getting paid. There should not be an initiative to be beefing. So I know critique, not everybody, but a lot of people that are beefing are only beefing because they're getting paid ads when it played on YouTube.
Yeah.
I know for a fact Leon Cohen and YouTube gave Cameron money to make a diss track as a reply to Mace, an advance, like, yo, diss him, I'll give you a check. And that shit had me hot.
Those are all those forces that are playing against them.
That's how they manipulate us. To the extent where they might even be like, someone said this about you, someone you don't know, and then they'll play it so that you respond, just knowing that people will look at it and get ads. And when somebody dies, all those things go up.
I'm right. You're absolutely right. I mean, everybody knows that, you know, any marketing person knows that. The thing is that we have to, for ourselves, step up. And
You should be getting paid to talk about illegal things. How about that? But it don't make sense. An ad play after you said you busting in the brain and shit, and an ad play after that. I'm gonna kill you, I'm beefing with you, and I'm gonna shoot you. And after that plays on YouTube, an ad play.
Right.
That shit ain't right to me, man.
Nah, that's real. That's real. That's why we have to take control of our culture, right? You know, and when I say culture, I don't, like I said, I don't just mean music, it's on mental health, like you're doing the schools thing that you're doing, like the OSG, you know, all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're doing it.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so let me do this. Because in the album, you know, one of the records is Wild Crap. We all gonna die. It's just a matter of time. And honestly, that's what gets me through it, bro. Is that I gotta celebrate my life. Even though bad things happen, I can't control it. I ain't gonna think about crying when we die. I'm gonna just laugh while we live, bro. You know, and that was inspiration to this record. And it got me through when I lost a baby. I made the record before we did it, but then once it happened, I was like, I gotta practice what I preach. So that's why